Can Penn State win a national championship under James Franklin in 2023? This is a team that has been right there with Michigan and Michigan State and Ohio State, and it's just a matter of finding a way to take that next step. James Franklin has done a great job of recruiting, and there's plenty of talent on this roster this year, but it's just a matter of making that step forward to win that national championship. Now, when you have Michigan State, Michigan, and Ohio State on your schedule looks pretty good. The only problem is that the non-conference schedule for the Nittany Lions isn't exactly the strongest. West Virginia and Delaware are on there, as well as UMass. That's not exactly going to win you too many battles if you're between one team and Penn State. Your saving grace, though, is that you do have difficult tests in your own division. So that's going to be huge for Penn State. And if they find ways to beat all three of those teams, it probably won't be much of a debate. This is going to be a 0 or 1 loss team if that happens. And I think that you're going to be just fine. Now, when you look at what they get from the West, pretty easy. I was always going to be difficult. Illinois is going to be tougher now than expected. But when you look at the rest of the schedule, there's not much that scares you in terms of outside of that trio of teams. There's not too much that you should be concerned about. This is a team that has done really well in recruiting. James Franklin is he's been a good recruiter for a long time, and we know what he can do, and we know what his staff can do. But can you take that next step? This is a team that hasn't won a Big Ten championship in a while. Ohio State and Michigan have kind of been dominating in that regard. And it's just a matter of finding a way to elevate your game. When you look at, we're going to talk about the personnel a little bit. With the team they have returning, this is a national championship type team. It's just a matter of doing that on the field. And it's one thing to do it on paper, obviously, and have all the right pieces in place, but can you sustain success? Can you find ways to elevate? I think when we discuss, you even look at the teams that they have to beat. Michigan State took a step backwards last year, so this is a team that Penn State should be able to beat. Michigan is a national championship contender this year. So in order to be a national championship contender, you have to beat one. Same thing with Ohio State. Now, Ohio State looks a little bit different because CJ Stroud is gone. You look at what they have returning, though, it's going to be tough to slow them down. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Mecca Ibuka, that passing attack is no joke. Mayan Williams and Travion Henderson coming back and running back as well. Again, you're not going to have too many opportunities to mess up against these teams, against Michigan and Ohio State. You have to play a really good game. And the fact that they're in the second half of the season means that if you don't have your stuff together, you're probably not winning this division. You're probably not going to win a Big Ten championship, and you're probably not going to compete for a national championship. But if you find a way to, I mean, there's no reason why this team shouldn't be undefeated heading to Ohio State. There's no reason. This is a good team. Actually, I'll say this is a great team. This is a great team that is capable of winning a national championship, but they just have to do it. You can talk about it all you want. We can discuss it all we want, but the team ultimately has to put it all on the field and show that they can be that way. Now, when you look at the offense really just comes down to Drew Alar. You look at what Sean Clifford was able to do. He was a consistent, steady hand for Penn State's offense. He was a veteran leader that was able to do just enough to keep this offense going. And I think that in order for them to take a step forward, the quarterback position is probably the one position, in my opinion, that has to take a step forward. You can't just be a game manager. You can't just be a distributor. Now, you're going to need to do that at times with the talent you have returning, but this needs to be an offense that has an elite passing threat at quarterback. And I think Drew Lar can be that. We already saw a little bit in the spring game. Can't take too much from a spring game, but you're looking at a quarterback that is going to play with a ton of confidence, and he has all the talent to be an elite quarterback. Pieces around him are going to make life very easy for him too. When you look at the backfield just alone, Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen, two of the best running backs in college football. This is one of the best, if not the best duo of running backs in college football, and they are explosive. Nicholas Singleton is explosive with a football in his hands. If you're able to get him in space, watch out. Katron Allen is more of that steady hand, still a player that can make explosive plays. That is something that's going to be huge. But again, if the passing attack isn't going, then they have to do more work. They're going to face more loaded boxes, and that's going to be a problem. So again, the passing attack really plays a huge role in getting things going. Now, you look at the passing attack, and what they have returning. There are some players returning. A guy that I want to focus on is Kent State transfer Dante Cephas. I think that he is going to be a great addition to Penn State, and he just has the talent to be able to elevate this passing attack as well. And you look at the talent they have returning, even at tight end, Theo Johnson is back. Didn't have the craziest production in 2022, but he has a chance to be even better than what we saw last year. I think that this passing attack has lots of potential, but there are some questions too. So it's just a matter of getting that group to the next level. When you flip over to the defensive side of the ball, another group that is loaded with talent, another group that has the potential to be a national championship type defense, one of the best defenses in college football. The front seven is loaded, in my opinion. You look at some of the guys they have back, specifically Abdul Carter. I think he has a bright future. He has an NFL future as a freshman last year, 56 tackles, 10 and a half tackles for loss. Curtis Jacobs comes back as well, that veteran of that group. And then you look at the defensive line, Chop Robinson is back. That's a group that has a ton of experience and a ton of talent to be able to make this team really, really good. And then when you go to the defense or to the secondary, you're looking at even the loss of Joey Porter Jr. That's a huge loss, but this is still going to be one of the more talented secondaries in all of college football, one of the better secondaries in the Big Ten as well. I think that this group has all the pieces necessary. James Franklin has done a great job of getting all the pieces there. He's done a phenomenal job of recruiting and doing what you need to do to get everybody on campus to make a run like this. Now it's just a matter of time of buckling up and getting the job done. I think that Penn State has a great chance of competing for a Big Ten championship. Not going to be easy, but they are going to be a team that deserves to be in that conversation. They deserve to be in the national championship conversation. And really, it all comes down to them. They have to get the job done. They have to find ways to win big football games. And the non conference shouldn't be too difficult, which is nice. And if you go undefeated, there's no reason why winning the Big Ten champion, shouldn't get into the college football playoff. And I think that you're looking at a team that can do that. Now, like we said before, there are some pieces that need to step up. Drew Alar is going to face a ton of scrutiny. When you're playing a quarterback position, you just get in the spotlight more, which means that you have to compete, you have to elevate your game. If he's able to do that, watch out for Penn State. This is a team that is poised to make a run. They are a loaded team with a ton of explosive talent on both sides of the football, and James Franklin has a team that's maybe his best ever.